When I started developing games 10 months ago, I just wanted to make games. But I faced the reality that every entrepreneur faces. Making games only 10% of this business. There are so many other things to do. Let's look at them.
Okay, let's go.
1. If you are not a solo developer, which you should not be, you will need to build a team. The most important thing you need to know is leadership and team management, especially if you convince people to work with zero money like my team. You have to inspire them, guide them, solve their problems, and most importantly, make them trust that you can do this job. 2. Marketing. If you don't have a teammate or a publisher to do it, you will have to do it yourself. If you are not very lucky or you don't have a great idea that will come in 1 in a million, you will not be able to sell the game without marketing. We can say that marketing is 50% of game development, so you have to know this. 3. Social media. You can think of it as a part of marketing, but social media requires a specific knowledge. You can be a YouTuber like me. You can try to understand TikTok, Twitter, Instagram algorithms. Being good at least one will bring you closer to success. 4. Video and illustration design. I believe this is necessary for your game's theme page to be in the best form. You need a very good trailer and capsule art. You can leave this to the professionals, but if you don't have money, you have to do it yourself. So you will need to know some cinematography for trailer and some design for the illustration. 5. Narrative design. This is perhaps the most overlooked art, especially in the indie games. When we mention art, game developers think of drawing or music, but they forget that literature is also an art. If you skip the story part, it means that if you don't have a very good mechanic, you will be missing a piece. Vampire Survival was successful without any story because it had very good mechanics, but even it started to tell a story after a while. 6. Localization. I am sure you will want to publish your game in different languages, but if you only translate, it will bring more harm than profit, because translation is one thing and localization is another. The sentences should change according to the culture of that country. For example, Shakespeare's to be or not to be. That is the question. Does not make much sense when we translate it directly into my language. But when we do localization, this sentence turns into bir ihtimal daha var, o da ölmek mi dersin? Which means there is one other possibility and that is to die, you say. This translation is much more meaningful in our country. Even songs have been written about it. So we should know the importance of localization. Of course, we cannot do it yourself, but we need to be aware that we will spend money on it. 7. Project management. If you have a team, you need to prepare a plan to manage them. You need to have weekly meetings, assign tasks to everyone, get to know people, choose the people you want to bring on board and move forward. Big companies do this with project managers. But since you are an indie team, you will do it yourself. In order to do this, you need to know more or less all the works to be done. So you will understand both drawing and coding and literature and music and UI and marketing and social media. 8. Public speaking. This is a must-have feature. There is no such thing as I can make my game without seeing anyone and I will be discovered. This is a dream. You need to present yourself to people. Therefore, you should improve your social skills. You should be able to network with important people, speak at conferences, and express yourself well. This is a difficult challenge for asocial people like us in our industry. 9. Business. Now we come to most boring work. If you are going to make a game and make money from it, you need to be ready for a lot of paperwork. For example, you are going to give your team shares in the company. Determine this from the beginning. In fact, my advice to you is to read this book. It explains how you can do profit sharing for newly created small companies. We use this system. You will get an investment. There will be a lot of paperwork again. You will make a deal with the publisher, paperwork again. You will hire a lawyer A financial advisor? Again, paperwork. Most of your time will be spent on this, and it is very risky to make a mistake here. So, I go back to subject of social skills. You need to make a good network and listen to people who made mistake at these stages. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. By the way, if we want to localize this last sentences in Turkish, it turns into this. There is no need to rediscover America. Yes, as you can see, a lot of work that we don't like is waiting for us on this path. We started by saying, I will do what I love. I want to make games. If you are ready to do this, welcome to the adventure of game development. If you are not ready, if you just want to develop games, then working as a game developer in big company will be more suitable for you. You won't be able to realize your dream either, but it is okay. Chasing dream requires some sacrifices. I hope it was a useful video for you. If there are other jobs I haven't mentioned, you can write in the comments. See you next video.